This is your average Robloxian. When you hear about one, do you think about a gardener from Grow a Garden? Or a thief from Steal a Brain Rot? Or a, baguette in Secret Staycation? But what if I told you it goes much, much farther than that? Hello! Welcome to chapter 1. So general mechanics refers to like broad mechanics that is basically the foundation. Or in other words, little Jimmy here knows about. So first up we got respawning, and do I need to explain that? I mean, that's just absolutely insane. Next up is running, and a Robloxian runs about 16 studs per second, and a stud is about 0.28 meters in real life. It's about 4.48 meters per second. Alright, next up is jumping, and this one is really insane. So Robloxian can jump about 8 studs, which is about 2.28 meters, and the world record for a human is 2.42 meters. You can just do this infinitely. Alright, next is climbing, and this isn't too important, but you can just climb with infinite stamina at the same pace they do as running. Alright, next one, like 99% of video game characters have. They experience no pain or fatigue, and they only die once they reach 0 HP, which is insane. Alright, next up is 0 fall damage, and this one's also really insane, like, woo! 0 fall damage, woo! 0 fall damage, woo! 0 fall damage. Yeah, that's just insane, dude. Alright, next up, we got height. This one's pretty funny, because they're like 5.1 studs tall, which is like 4'6" in real life. This is another cool one. They can't drown at all. That's pretty cool, you know? Huh. Who wouldn't think that's cool? Like, you? Me? No? There's a lot more stuff than this, but I'm too lazy to name them. So let's just move on to chapter 2. Yeah. Hello. Welcome to chapter 2. So in this chapter, we will cover strength, speed, durability. So, strength. Let's use KiddyKene's words.
First aspect is raw strength, or in our case, how much Steve can lift up and carry.
So just how much can a Robloxian lift, really? So in Roblox, mass is calculated by volume times density. Cool, right? And according to this cool thing I found, one Roblox mass unit is equal to 21.952 kilograms. Now that begs the question, what is the highest mass possible for a part? So the mass of a standard part is 5.6, and if we use our conversion from earlier and make it into a tool, we are casually running and jumping around with 122.9312 kilograms of weight, or the weight of an adult panda. But we can go further than that. If we change the size of it to 2048, which is the max, we get a wow massive part. And the mass of it is 6,012,954,112. We can go further. We can change the density of it to 100, which is the maximum. It's all too much. And the mass is now 858,993,459,200. And now we can delete that, make it into a tool. Wait a bit, hold the tool. And now we are casually running and jumping around with 19 trillion kilograms. Oh, would you look at that? Roblox's gravity is 5.6 stronger than Earth's. For reference, if a human were to stumble upon Roblox's gravity, they would be flattened instantly. So basically, we are running and jumping around holding the weight of a 2-kilometer asteroid under 5.6 times gravity. But it gets even crazier than that, so we can duplicate that tool. And now we are carrying 10 of those 18.8 trillion kilogram blocks in our pockets while we are casually running and jumping around under 5.6 times gravity. What? But you can't just stop at 10. We can keep going and going and going until we reach the 32-bit integer limit, 2,147,483,647. So if you have all of that, then you'd be carrying 46,494,499,413,113,600,000,000 kilograms. Okay, next is speed. Okay, so just like earlier, a Robloxian runs about 16 subs per second, which is about 10 miles per hour. That's pretty good. And as always, we can go further than that. So we can change the walk speed of a Roblox character, and now it's at 1024, which is 1024 steps per second, or 641 miles per hour. Wow! 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 But obviously we can go further than that. So we can set it to the 32-bit integer limit. And well, a Robloxian can't accelerate to that speed instantly, but if we were to reach top speed, then we would be going 1.34 billion miles per hour, or twice the speed of light. But obviously we can't just stop at running. We can do teleportation, which happens within 4.16 milliseconds. So, if we were to cross 2.14 billion studs in 4.16 milliseconds, we would be going 482 times the speed of light. So we can keep going a trillion, a quadrillion, up until, get this, 340 duodecillion. That's this number. Now what would happen if we were to cross 340 duodecillion studs within 4.16 milliseconds? Well, we would go 763 decillion, 348 nonillion, 779 octillion, 521 septillion, 438 sextillion, 477 quintillion, 64 quadrillion, 264 trillion, 888 billion, 284 million, 704,000 times the speed of light, under 5.6 times gravity, and they handle all that speed easily. Okay. Okay, durability. I ain't gonna go too much on this because you can just use God command from HD admin. in Roblox, you can do many things. You can lift weight, you can grow a garden, yeah, you can eat drywall? Anyways, now should be the perfect time for please subscribe, please subscribe, please. Or don't, it's fine. Anyways, the games I'm gonna be focusing on are Craft Wars games. Anyways, let's get straight to the point. In the game called Balanced Craft Wars Overhaul, there's this dude named Gilgamesh, the consumer of reality. He consumes reality. Yeah, I mean, you could probably tell that by his name. Then there's this dude called the Architect, also known as Knacker, who is stronger than Gilgamesh. And if you're wondering why I'm using other people's footage, is because I'm too weak. Yeah. And then there's a stronger version of the Architect, also known as the Awakened. Wow. I'm definitely not doing that because I don't play the game anymore. Yeah. He's stronger. Yeah. Okay. I don't even know anymore. Oh, here's a game I don't need to use other people's footage on. Craft Wars Redux. Cause, this dude's really easy. So, he's the manifestation of what's left after everything fades to gray. Yeah. He's really strong. Oh, I died. That's fine. Yeah. I don't know anymore. I actually don't know. Anyways, there's 3 dudes called the Dimensional Protectors, who are stronger versions of the Omniversal Protectors. What? Why? Shouldn't Omniversal Protectors be stronger than Dimensional Protectors? What? Why? Then there's this dude called Ruler of Dimensions, who's the strongest boss as of making this video. Well, technically not the strongest boss, but I mean, there's a boss stronger than him, but it's a challenge boss and he drops absolutely nothing. I'm not gonna beat this right now because it's gonna take a while. So I'm not gonna beat him. Yeah! Okay, chapter 3 done! So, in conclusion, the Robloxian is pretty strong.